The silent Atmanirbhar Bharat win. Words is #1 arms importer. 91% of our ammunitions are indigenous. Thousands of crores kept within nation. This is why indigenization of ammunition matters.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Explained by NewsX. I'm Pratap Singh. Today we're breaking down a major transformation in Indian defense. The Indian Army achieving over 91% self-reliance in ammunition production. We'll explore what this means for defense spending, where India used to rely on imports, how procurement is changing, and why this is strategically vital. For decades, India was one of the largest arms importers in the world, purchasing a significant portion of its defense equipment, including ammunition from foreign suppliers such as Russia, the United States, France, and Israel. First off, how much ammunition does one rifle use, and how much does a soldier carry? A typical assault rifle, like the INSAS used by the Indian Army, fires around 5.56 mm rounds from a 30-round magazine. But use depends on the situation in a burst. It could empty a mag in seconds. As for carry load, an Indian soldier typically holds 150 to 210 rounds in 5 to 7 magazines for their primary rifle, plus extras for squad weapons. In full combat gear, a section might tote up to 1,400 rounds total for light machine guns alone. A decade ago, around 2014, India was a massive arms importer. Back then, India was the world's largest arms buyer, snagging about 12 to 14% of global arms imports between 2009 to 2013, dropping to 9.5% for 2014 to 2018. So how much is the total arms imports? Around SIPRI's trend indicator of billions in value, around $5 to $6 billion annually in real terms. But for ammunition, specifically, India made only about 32% domestically in 2014, importing the rest, a whopping 68% dependence. That meant billions flowing out to foreign suppliers like Russia and Israel. Total foreign arms imports, including ammunition for India, averaged $2 to $5 billion annually in the 2010s, with ammunition forming a key component. For instance, between 2018 to 2023, India spent nearly 1.93 crore rupees on foreign military hardware, much of it ammunition and related systems. Adjusting for inflation and budget growth, pre-2014 ammunition spending likely ranged from 10,000 to 15,000 crore rupees annually, with 50 to 70% on imports, with 8,000 to 10,000 crores to domestic producers. In the earlier era, which was import dependent, had 7,000 to 8,000 crore rupee imported ammunition per year. In the current scenario, less than 2,000 crore rupees going towards imports, with the bulk met domestically. The defense budget as a whole has risen from about 2.53 lakh crore rupees in financial year 2014-2015 to over 6 lakh crore rupees today, reflecting increased overall spending amidst border tensions and modernization. Traditionally, India's defense industry relied heavily on imports, not just for advanced weapon systems, but also ammunition of various types, from small arm rounds to artillery shells. Globally, India's share in arms imports was huge, leading the pack until Saudi Arabia overtook, but still top tier at 9 to 14% depending on the period. Reports highlight India now indigenizing 91% of its ammunition variants. That's 159 out of 175 types made in-house, slashing imports dramatically from 32% domestic in 2014 to 88 to 91% now. A game changer under Atmanirbhar Bharat. India's push for self-reliance in defense manufacturing, particularly ammunition, has accelerated under initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. There has been a sustained push over the past decade to design, develop and produce ammunition domestically. As of late 2025, the Indian Army has achieved 91% indigenization across 159 out of 179 ammunition variants in its inventory. This marks a significant shift from higher import dependencies a decade ago, driven by global supply chain disruptions and strategic needs for sustained firepower. But before we dive further, let's listen into what PM Modi and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said.
हमें गर्व है कि पिछले एक दशक से हमारी सेनाएं तेजी से आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर कदम बढ़ा रही है। हमारी सेनाओं ने हजारों ऐसे सामानों की लिस्ट बनाई और तय किया कि अब ये सामान बाहर से नहीं मंगवाया जाएगा। नतीजा ये हुआ कि सेना के लिए जरूरी ज्यादातर साजो सामान अब देश में ही तैयार होने लगा है। पिछले 11 वर्षों में हमारा डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन 3 गुना से ज्यादा हो गया है। पिछले साल तक ये रिकॉर्ड 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक पहुंच गया है। मैं एक और उदाहरण देश को बताना चाहता हूं। 2014 से अब तक भारतीय शिपयार्ड से नौसेना को 40 से ज्यादा स्वदेशी युद्धपोत और पनडुब्बियां मिले हैं।
लेकिन हां, यह मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगा कि भारत को डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन के मामले में भी सेल्फ रिलायंट बनाने के लिए हम लोग पूरी तरह से कमिटेड हैं। आप लोगों को इस बात की जानकारी होगी कि 2014 में जब हमारी गवर्नमेंट आई थी, उस समय एक्सपोर्ट जो भारत से होता था दुनिया के दूसरे देशों में, वह अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 600 करोड़ का होता था। आज हम वो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 24,000 करोड़ तक ले गए हैं थोड़े ही समय में। हमारा टारगेट है कि 2029, 2030 तक हम इसको 50,000 करोड़ तक ले जाएंगे। और मैं कहना चाहता हूं, हमारा टारगेट ही नहीं है, बल्कि हम इस टारगेट को अचीव करेंगे। ये हमारा फर्म कन्विक्शन है। और सेल्फ रिलायंट भारत को बनाने के लिए डिफेंस के मामले में कई मेजर स्टेप्स हम लोगों ने लिए।
What does this mean economically? If India spends 50,000 crore rupees in ammunition annually, with 91% now produced locally, about 5,500 to 46,000 crore rupees stays in India instead of going abroad. That's money fueling jobs, tech and growth here, turning defense into an economic engine. India's overall defense budget has grown steadily, reaching 6.81 lakh crore rupees, which is about $81 billion for financial year 2025-26, with the Indian Army accounting for over half of this allocation. However, specific ammunition expenditure is a subset of revenue and capital outlays for stores, ordnance and procurement. In recent years, for instance, financial year 2024-25, the Indian Army's annual ammunition budget has hovered around 20,000 crore rupees. This includes both routine and emergency procurements. In earlier years, roughly 35 to 40% of that budget, roughly 7,000 to 8,000 crore rupees, went towards imports because domestic production could not fully meet demand. More recent reports show that thanks to indigenization, the import share has fallen to below 10% of the overall ammunition budget. India's defense output hit a record 1.54 lakh crore rupees in financial year 2024-25, up from 46,000 crore rupees in 2014-2015. The private sector is chipping in big, with over 16,000 MSMEs involved. So if 91% of ammunition is now self-reliant, this has drastically reduced foreign outflows and strengthened domestic manufacturing. This redirects funds towards domestic production, assuming a stable or growing total ammunition budget. Additionally, in 2025, the Army conducted emergency ammunition procurements worth 6,000 crore rupees to ensure readiness, showing that investments in ammunition remain significant even with domestic production scaling up. The Indian Army now procures the majority of its ammunition from indigenous manufacturers, including Munitions India Limited, a key public sector entity producing everything from small arms rounds to heavy artillery shells. It also includes private sector firms such as Solar Industries India Limited, Adani Defence and Aerospace, Hughes Precision and SMPP Limited. These companies manufacture a wide range of ammunition types, from small and medium caliber rounds to large caliber artillery shells and associated explosive components. While imports have sharply declined, some specialized or advanced ammunition, especially certain precision guided rounds and high-tech munitions, are still sourced from foreign partners when domestic alternatives are not yet available. Recent data also shows specific foreign sales, such as the US cleared $93 million sale of Javelin anti-tank systems and Excalibur projectiles to India through these, though these represent supplementary purchases rather than the bulk of ammunition needs. Reaching 91% self-sufficiency, means that 159 out of 175 ammunition types used by the Indian Army are now produced domestically. This spans across small arms, ammunition, tank and armoured as well. So this of course is something that must be noted, and of course it covers a wide range as well. And of course clearly is something that we are talking about, not just this but artillery shells as well, rockets, mortar rounds, emerging domains like smart and precision ammunition. Defence exports have reached 23,620 crores, which is about 2.76 billion in financial year 2024-25, a 34 times rise from 2013-2014. India now sells to 85 plus countries including BrahMos missiles and artillery as well. So what ammo is India making today? Everything from 5.56 mm and 7.62 mm, small arm rounds to 155 mm artillery shells, tank ammo, rockets, even smart munitions. Munitions India Limited leads, producing explosives, bombs and more. Efforts also ongoing on the remaining 16 variants, with production lines and technology transfers in advanced stages. The goal, as articulated by defence officials, is complete domestic self-reliance by the end of 2025, though challenges remain in raw materials and specialised capabilities. In global crises, like the standoffs on the border, foreign supply chains can be disrupted or delayed. Domestic production ensures rapid stockpiling, sustainment during long conflicts, zero dependence on unpredictable suppliers. This is critical for a country with ongoing security challenges on multiple fronts. So does India export ammo? Well, in 2023, explosive ammo exports hit $153 million, rising to $490 million for arms and ammo in 2024. We're offering cheap, reliable options like 155mm shells at $300 to $400 each. Cumulative defense spending is projected at $543 billion from 2026 to 2030, with a focus on indigenous ammo, air defense, surveillance. The ammunition market in India was valued at about $2 billion in 2024. It's expected to grow to $2.6 billion by 2033, driven by self-reliance. Emergency funds like the 50,000 crore rupee post-Operation Sindoor have boosted allocation further and boosted domestic procurement. Finally, India's defence stocks, the sector booming. Top players like Hindustan Aeronautics at 4,409 rupees per share, Bharat Electronics at 398 rupees, Bharat Dynamics at 1,478 rupees, Garden Reach at 2,496 rupees. In 2025, stocks rallied early on orders but slowed later. HAL ups big on modernization deals, while some like Cochin shipyards have dipped. Nifty India Defence Index tracks it all, up overall thanks to reforms. In summary, Indian Army has achieved over 90% self-reliance in ammunition, a remarkable leap from import dependence. The shift has reduced import spending drastically and bolstered domestic manufacturing. Procurement now comes mainly from Indian companies, both public and private. The implications are profound for national security, strategic autonomy, economic growth, and future defense capabilities. This transformation marks a pivotal chapter in India's defense story.
The silent Atmanirbhar Bharat win. Words is #1 arms importer. 91% of our ammunitions are indigenous. Thousands of crores kept within nation. This is why indigenization of ammunition matters.